Hello, dear students of 12th class. I am Pardeep Kaul, lecturer in chemistry, and we will continue with your unit, that is P block elements. And today's topic for you is nitric acid. We will manufacture nitric acid by Ostwald's process. Then we will give another method for preparation of nitric acid in the laboratory. Then we shall be discussing a few physical properties of nitric acid. So coming to nitric acid. Now first let us prepare nitric acid by a process known as Ostwald's process. In this process, we have a combination of these chambers. For example, this chamber, this is known as converter, and this converter is made up of steel. This is steel body of this converter. Then it has platinum. This is platinum gauze, which will be acting as a catalyst here. Then we have an inlet here. So what we do in the beginning, we fix this apparatus as shown in the figure. We will be proceeding that how nitric acid is prepared through this process, that is Ostwald's process. So what we do, we introduce a mixture of ammonia and air. Now the question is, where from we get ammonia? We obtain ammonia from Haber's process. Now here we shall not be doing that. So first we will produce this ammonia by Haber's process, and then the mixture of ammonia and air, that is oxygen, that will be introduced through this outlet into this chamber, which is made up of steel. This chamber is known as converter. Why converter? Because in this very chamber, this mixture, it will get converted into nitric oxide. So since nitric oxide will be formed in this, so we call this chamber as converter. So we will begin with this chamber. What we do, a mixture of ammonia obtained from Haber's process is mixed with oxygen, and this mixture is taken in the ratio 1:10 by volume. The mixture of ammonia, this will be ammonia here, and this will be air, that is oxygen. So ammonia and oxygen will be taken in the ratio 1:10 by volume. This means that if we take 1 liter of ammonia, we shall have to take 10 liters of oxygen. So such a mixture by volume is taken, that is introduced into this converter, and this converter has a special arrangement for heating. Electrical heating arrangement is there. So when this mixture is introduced into it and it passes through this catalyst, platinum gauze, it is electrically heated at a very, very high temperature of 1100 kelvins. So what happens in this chamber? Ammonia and this oxygen, that gets combined at a very high temperature of 1100 kelvins when nitric oxide is formed along with water. So what happens in this chamber? In converter, what happens? In converter, a mixture of ammonia and air is taken in 1:10 ratio by volume and introduced into the converter, where what happens? These combine, these react in presence of platinum as catalyst and get electrically heated at a very high temperature of 1100 Kelvin when nitric oxide is formed. Now in the second step, what happens? this nitric oxide that goes into these pipes, these are cooling pipes. Since there is a very high temperature, we do not require any further heating. We have a high, this is an exothermic reaction. This reaction is exothermic reaction since it has been carried out at a very high temperature. So now this nitric oxide, it is passed through cooling pipes. So another step is cooling pipes. What we do in cooling pipes? When this NO passes, NO means nitric oxide, when it passes through these cooling pipes, it gets cooled to a very low temperature of 320 to 325 kelvins. Now please note, we had carried out that reaction at a very high temperature of 1100 K. There was a high heat content here. So in order to just cool down the NO, what we do, we pass that NO through these cooling pipes where NO gets cooled to a temperature of 320 to 325 kelvins. Now this NO, that is nitric oxide, which is cool now, it is passed through another chamber. This chamber is known as oxidation chamber. So now moving to oxidation chamber. In oxidation chamber, which is the third step of Ostwald's process, oxidation chamber. Oxidation chamber. As the term itself suggests that here oxidation will take place. What was passing through it? NO. This NO goes into this chamber, and from the bottom of this chamber, that is oxidation chamber, air is passed. Air means oxygen is passed, and as a result NO reacts with oxygen, twice nitric oxide, it reacts with oxygen and gets oxidized. That is why this chamber is known as oxidation chamber, because here oxidation of nitric acid takes place and nitrogen dioxide is formed here in this chamber. So in this chamber we get nitrogen dioxide. This nitrogen dioxide is then taken to one more chamber, that is chamber or tower, that is known as absorption tower. Now moving to absorption tower. Now NO2 is passing through this tower. What this tower has? This tower has acid proof flint here. This portion is acid proof flint. Now at the top of this we have an arrangement for sprinkling water. We will have to pour water. That means reaction will be taken, will be carried out of this nitrogen dioxide and water in this tower. This tower is known as absorption tower. In absorption tower, nitrogen dioxide enters this tower and water is poured from the top when reaction takes place between nitrogen dioxide and water, and as a result what we get nitric acid along with nitric oxide. That means we get nitric oxide back. That nitric oxide can be recycled, that can be taken back to this chamber for further reaction, like this recycling, because we require NO in this chamber, so that NO can be recycled again for manufacture of more nitric acid. So as a result we have got nitric acid, and that nitric acid can be obtained from the bottom of this absorption tower through this tap. So we have got nitric acid, but this nitric acid that we have obtained through Ostwald's process, it is dilute. So we need to concentrate it. So next step is concentration of nitric acid. Now this nitric acid is concentrated to about 68%. Now how we concentrate it? We concentrate it to 68% by distilling nitric acid by distilling under reduced pressure. So what we do here, we subject nitric acid to a very reduced pressure, and what happens under these conditions, our nitric acid, it gets concentrated to about 68%. If we require more concentration, we can do it. We can make it 85% concentrated by treating it with concentrated sulfuric acid. If we do that, then our nitric acid that gets concentrated up to 85%. So this was all about Ostwald's process. So this is how nitric acid is prepared through Ostwald's process. Now we can also prepare nitric acid in the laboratory preparation. Laboratory preparation. Of nitric acid, HNO3. In laboratory, we can obtain nitric acid by taking this salt, that is sodium nitrate, and what we do, we take this salt and we heat it at a very, very high temperature with water. This is water. Then we heat it to a temperature of 423 to 475 kelvins. That means we take sodium nitrate salt, we just add water to it, and then we heat it. So heating is done at this temperature, and at this temperature what happens? Sodium bisulfate is obtained. Sodium bisulfate. That means here we shall have to add sulfuric acid to it. So in laboratory method, sodium nitrate is treated with sulfuric acid, and as a result we get sodium bisulfate and nitric acid. So nitric acid has been obtained by this reaction. In laboratory, this is how we prepare nitric acid. So after this, let us move to physical properties of nitric acid. Physical properties of nitric acid, HNO3. Now, nitric acid is colorless. It is a colorless liquid. It is acid, but is it in liquid state. However, if we expose nitric acid to sunlight, its color becomes yellowish. It turns yellowish. It turns yellowish when exposed to sunlight. So when we expose nitric acid to sunlight, its color doesn't remain colorless, but it turns yellowish. So it is all about the color of nitric acid. Now as far as its odor is concerned, odor means smell. Nitric acid is pungent smelling acid. Pungent smelling, that means it doesn't have a good smell. It has a very bad smell. So it is a pungent smelling acid. Now coming to its boiling point. Boiling point of nitric acid is 355.6 Kelvin. This is the boiling point of nitric acid. If after boiling, or suppose we want to freeze it, it can be frozen to a white mass, but at a temperature much below this, that is 355 knot, but it freezes at 231.4 kelvins. At this temperature, our this nitric acid, it freezes into a white mass. Then nitric acid has corrosive property. Corrosive property means if by somehow this acid is poured on the skin, it has a very corrosive action on our skin. What happens if this acid is by somehow put on our or poured on our skin? It causes painful blisters. Painful blisters are formed on the skin if this acid is accidentally poured on your skin. So these are some of the physical properties of nitric acid. This nitric acid, these are some physical properties. In the next lecture, we will be moving to chemical properties of nitric acid. For today, that is all. Thank you very much.